So today we are tattooing the main man, Looky C. Looking forward to tattoo. Look, I haven't seen him in a while, and we actually used to work together for a while before, but I have a lot of time for him. We have a couple of funny stories. We've been on a couple of trips and stuff together too. So we're actually doing a blind tattoo today, which means he has no idea what he's getting. I give him a couple of options, so he could either choose a skull theme or a Hanya mask theme, and he wasn't to see the design until I arrive in today. So looking forward to it. It's going on to his forearm. Basically what happened was I made a mistake in my diary this month, and I wrote something in on a day which wasn't a booking. So I had one day and I kind of just wanted to do something cool on a cool person as well, and kind of just have a bit of fun with it, have a bit of a laugh throughout the day, and I couldn't have asked for a better person than Luke. So we'll go round here now and see his reaction. What's the crack? I wasn't expecting you to fly down on a bike. That's a fucking cracker.
Just came down. I'm trying to do a wee bit more exercise, so it's just like fucking.
Did you cycle down from Glengormley?
No, I live up in the road now, sort of.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Unreal, man. Unreal. So we're just finished up there with Looky C. What time is it now? It's 10:15. So we started maybe like 1 o'clock tattooing.
Aye, probably about
so
that.
We've had about 8.5, maybe probably about 8-9 hours of tattooing time.
Hard enough going, like.
It was.
Nippy, like, but we got there.
How did you find the pain on it? Was it bearable?
Some bats down here aching, don't want to be touched there ever again. Up here, 100% until the eyes were about 5 times shaded.
Yeah.
And then that was whenever the hell came in. But now, other than that, just wee nippy bits, the usual.
Unreal. I really enjoyed doing it because I literally had today free just by accident from making a mistake in my diary, and was going home with Owen the other night, and I was like, I really want to tattoo that day, but I would love to have done just something fun, just something that I'd like made up myself.
Yeah.
So I put up that post and you popped up, you were free on Thursday, and I was like, unreal, let's do it. And you didn't even see the design until we came in this morning. So
I'm over the moon.
Your first thoughts when you seen it, it seemed like you were pretty happy. Like,
yeah, it's the thing, I trust Ryan, so I just had to put my trust in you even more.
Unreal. Thank you, mate.
It worked, like.
Yep, unreal. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward. We'll have it wrapped up here now, but once we get off this video, I'm going to clean it down again and just get a couple of videos and stuff. So I'll post it up on my Instagram pages. So if it's maybe on this, I'll put a wee glimpse of it in, but I'll put up the final photo on Instagram. So a few things that people might not know about Luke. So I've known Luke for a good while, like, and first time I met you, I think you came in and got tattooed just.
It was my mum knew you. You tattooed my mum.
Yeah.
And then she recommended you, and yeah, that's been it since.
And then I think it was maybe, like a year after that, then you'd been coming in a few times, and I think I was looking at an apprentice at the time, and I know you're quite into art and prints and whatever. Yeah. And I think I actually approached you and asked you if you wanted to come in and do an apprenticeship.
Yeah, I remember that actually. Buzzing. But here, did I stick at it? Of course I didn't. No, life just gets in the way of things, you know. But I'm a raging and didn't stick at it. Probably a wee bit, yeah.
Yeah, but sure, you've went on to do your own thing anyway. It just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't for
time.
you. But it was good. It was good while it lasted. I think you were in for at least a month, maybe 2.
It was probably about 2 months, yeah.
About 2 months, and then
COVID, like.
Yeah. And I think it was pre-COVID. It would have been.
Or was it? It was in the middle of COVID, was it? It was. We were still, because the shop wasn't open yet. Like,
Right.
you weren't even tattooing.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think you were getting ready. It was open by the time I left.
Right.
But I think it wasn't open whenever I first started, like.
Right, okay.
It was, I think we're in, probably wasn't actually, but it was probably one of the last lockdowns, like.
Yeah.
But it was probably the third last one or something.
That's crazy. That's probably like at least 3, maybe 4 years. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, actually.
I'm 24 now, so I had to be 20 and 21 maybe, about that age, so yeah, 3-4 years ago.
Unreal.
Like,
That was good. We Owen was in the shop with us at that time too. I'm trying to get him to come on and do like a bit of a podcast, but he's back and forward. I just put him on the spot one day and just set it up.
Just walk him in. We sit here and he won't even notice.
It'll be very funny because of loads of like wee mad stories from over the years. But it's good to have him back working around too. Like we worked together for a good lot of years, and then still obviously stayed friends in between it, and now he's just sort of joined back again. So when he came in the day and like I was tattooing you, it was always like a wee blast from the past because we always had a good laugh.
It's like a wee family when you come in here, like it genuinely is. It's nice, like it's just like it's one of those environments. Like obviously you're getting a lot of pain inflicted on you, so you want to be comfortable, and you guys just make it very comfortable. It's great. Like,
it's good to hear.
You just be able to talk all the shit of the day and no one encourage, you know what I mean? But no, it's great. It makes the pain that wee bit less. Wee bit, but wee bit less.
Yeah, so you're comfortable enough sitting the day, just having a bit of crack, couple of painful bits, but you got through it.
Yeah. Nah, I love coming down here to be fair. It's more the crack than anything. Like, it's like you're obviously getting an unbelievable tattoo, but it's like you walk out with like you've got about 20 valuable conversations. And then you've also got a cracker tattoo. It's like, I don't know, I love just being able to float my thoughts across, you know.
Yeah,
it's great.
Absolutely. And it's good, and I think that varies as well between sort of client to client. You get some people want to come in and just like kind of be quiet and go into themselves a wee bit, but then you get people come in and the conversation's just back and forward all day, and you kind of go home feeling like you've learned something too.
Or some people come in and they can't even talk because of the pain.
Because of the pain, they have to just bury their head.
You're trying to speak to them like,
I kind of enjoy both sets of days, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if someone's just lying there, just absorbing the pain and in their own wee zone, then you kind of go into your own wee zone too. But I also enjoy talking away, especially if it's like great conversation, you know what I mean, and crack as well.
It's one of those things you're there for so long, and it's like if there isn't some level of crack, it's like it's just going to drag in really. Like 8 hours, like that's a full working day. You wouldn't even. Well, it didn't feel like 8 hours anyway.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
It didn't.
So like you wouldn't
absolutely
even.
Not.
But I think if I'm sitting there in silence for 8 hours, I don't think I would be very happy.
You probably would have wanted to call it a day at like 6 o'clock or something.
Definitely, like I would have called it a day whenever I was starting to get really nippy up there. But it's been like right.
Here, what about traveling too? Like I know you used to do quite a bit of traveling. You were all over Europe and stuff as well, weren't you? Have you still been doing?
Not last year, but not last year, but the year before. I was trying to do every month. Well, a holiday a month, not every month. Well, that's what I was set out to do, but it actually didn't work out that way. But it did end up getting the 12 holidays in. So I was trying to do a wee break every month. Ran our sales, change your location to Ireland. Works a charm.
Brilliant.
Just you pay in euros, but it's always going to be cheaper because you're changed it to the destination there.
Right. So okay.
Tried to do that. Crossed off most of Europe, and now I'm like, right, where do you go?
Where do you go next? Out of the whole of Europe, where was your top sort of 3 places?
For different reasons, like a few places, so like Budapest.
I've never been there actually, but it looks unreal.
I mean, you'd love it. Like it's a real good place to go on your own as well, because it's like, well, the reason I loved it so much, first time I went, absolute culture shock. Actually went back to my hostel, hated it. I was like, I'm here for another 3 days, what am I going to do? Then just had a wee look about. There's like the ruined bars, which like got bombed in the war, and they kind of just threw. Like it's all still walls that are broken down and all, but they've just threw wee bars into them. It's a really quirky wee spot, but it's like the biggest tourist spot in the whole place, and it's not really that big either. So you're almost guaranteed that you'll meet an English speaker.
You'll meet it,
And like I went down there, and like this was after I was having a wee episode in the hostel, and I was like, I'll just go down. Went down. I was sitting there on my own for ages, just my iPad out, and then I was speaking to 2 French girls. Tiny bit of conversation. Then I was like, right, I'll probably just call it a night here. I was walking out. Held the door open for someone, and he was like, oh, cheers, mate. And I was like, cheers, mate. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I was like, where are you from? And he was like, London. And then he was like, oh, I'm with a mate here. And then we just started talking, and then me and him just clicked like that. And then we spent like the whole holiday. It was us 2, or us 3 even. And then that night we met these Swedish boys, and like we were just partying until like 5 of them. And then the next day, there was like these 2 Italian girls moved into my room in my hostel, and ended up just being friendly with them. So it was like us, those 2 girls, the 2 English boys, and then another guy who was in my hostel room.
Class.
And we just became this wee family.
You probably didn't want the holiday to end after the 3 days in.
It was honestly unbelievable. Like I still speak, I have them all on social media obviously, like I would still speak to the girls here and there. Like, that was like 2 years ago. And Budapest, just one of those places that tops everywhere else purely just because it's quite a small, compact place. It's easy to meet people. I went to like the likes of Barcelona. Too big for me to be on my own. Like I'll just sit.
I've been to Barcelona too. It is a huge city. Like it's lovely though. It is a nice place. But I was a bit younger when I went, so I probably didn't appreciate it for what it was. But I think if I went back now, I would appreciate it a bit more. But like the big city thing, I do prefer things that are a bit smaller. Like I done the hostel thing out in Australia as well, and I loved it. Like you just bump into all walks of life, and like you were saying, Swedish people, English people, flipping French, like American, all walks of life.
Like everyone's in the exact same boat as well. So it's like, that's why, like when I first stayed in the hostel, shit myself. I was like, hostels are.
How many bunks were in your dorm?
I think it was 2, 4. I think this was either an 8 or a 10 bed one.
Right, okay.
It was like state of the art, like it was unbelievable. It was nicer than hotels I've stayed in. So to me a hostel is like murderous. Like you're going to walk in, it's going to be all like, it's going to stink.
Here it can be. See the one I lived in for a long time in Australia. It was madness. It was crazy.
I stayed in, where was it? I was in Berlin, and there was a guy. He was theoretically homeless, but he was basically just going between hostel and hostel, and like he was a real creepy crab, like, and he was sleeping in the bunk beside me. Luckily I was only there for not even a full night, a half a night, because my flight was that morning. But I was like, so when I was going to bed, I was like, and I literally hid everything. It was like, I think I had the most of the stuff, like any like thing that meant anything, or like my passport and all. I think I slept beside. I was like,
I keep everything weird, on your person.
It was strange, but that's the only hostel that I've ever stayed in besides that was a wee bit like run down was in Lisbon. But to be honest, it was just the vibe of the place, like everyone in it, and like the actual crack was 110%. It was just, everything was hand built with wood, and like it was just as basic as you could possibly have it, but the crack was there, so who cares, you know?
The crack in that hostel I was in Australia was the same. That's why I stayed so long. It was unreal. But there was like, it was a big enough hostel, right? And there was one part of the building around the back that was owned like by someone else. No, this like never sold that part of it. So it was like a wee small apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment. And man, no joke, there was about 12 people living in it at once, right? But they were all a wee bit fucking mad. So they were like, a lot of them I think were on the crack pipe, do you know what I mean, all the time. And like obviously they were all in there 24/7, so none of them were working enough. And there was a couple of nights we were sitting, you know, like after like the bar bit was closed and the reception was closed, and man, they ransacked the whole place. Like 12 of them just went in with like knives and hammers, went into all the rooms, robbed everything off everyone, had people's iPads, passports, everything.
And then just back into their wee cubby hole.
And then just went back in again. And like the cops out there were wild. See if you rang them, they never came. Like they would have came, like this is an mad one, right? 2 people that weren't staying in the hostel came in, right? And they were being really weird around like some of the guests, and like a couple of girls were like complaining, and like I threw them out because the security hadn't started yet, and grabbed one of them because he was like being aggressive, and threw him out at the gate and went to close the gate. He ran over to the boot of his car and lifted a fucking handgun out of it. And I was like, what? I got the door closed as quickly as possible, and like 2 people had rang the cops because there was like someone up on the apartment that said I'd seen it, and then someone ran in. And man, they ended up leaving. The cops came like 3.5 hours later, and it was literally from like here to like City Hall away, the main station.
Like, guns, like you can't. Well, can you carry a gun in Australia?
I don't know. I probably not. I don't think they're legal unless you're like unless you're like have a license or like you're shooting. It was crazy.
Did he actually shoot? But
no. So maybe it wasn't even real, but it looked like it was. Like, do you know what I mean? But why would you like
when you're looking at it?
100%. So I was like, no, straight back in. Look, my balls went back up and went up into my stomach.
That's mental. I can't say I've ever had a gun pulled out on me. Like I've definitely walked past people and like Budapest guns are legal, like you know.
Oh, are they?
You can kind of tell by someone's demeanour that they have a gun on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm literally just back from Prague a few weeks ago. Like funny we're talking about guns, and I went to the shooting range for the first time. Went to the shooting range here. It was airsoft. Loved it. See over there. See, as soon as I had this gun in my hand, I was like, no. See, like the what's it called?
When you cock it back, or the recoil?
The recoil.
Yeah.
Mental. Like I don't know how people in America are like. Like my hand would be.
Is that maybe more on the Phillips?
I think it is. Like, but like I would understand the wee small guns, but like this smallest gun I shot was. Like it was a handgun, like, and it was like, boom. Yeah, it was scary, and like I didn't like it.
Someone brought me to a shooting range here actually a load of years ago, and it was a handgun we were shooting, and it was in a barn in the middle of nowhere. I was going, what is going on up here? I didn't know. It seemed like it was like a legal thing. You know, you had to have a license, and they kept your weapon and all there for you. But I was only allowed to go because you were allowed to like bring a guest. Yeah. But I think some of the rules were like you're not allowed to bring the same guest twice. Oh, do you know what I mean? I think there's like wee rules like that. I can't remember exactly, but in Vegas, when I was out in Vegas, we went to the shooting range and we got to do, I think it was an MP4, AK, Uzi, and then the other one was probably like a handgun or something. But see, it must have been from the AK. It just had like a big bruise in between my shoulder for flipping a load of days after or a week after.
It was like, keep it firm to there with no movement at all because it will hurt you, and then also put your cheek on the gun, and I fired the first shot and was like, cheek on the gun, and I was like, do you want me to lose my whole face here? I was like, not a chance. So I wasn't even aiming properly, so I was kind of like shying away from the sight like that, and then shooting, and it was like well away from where I was trying to hit. Like
that actually, just talking about guns reminded me about another time, right? So this is like just popped into my head. I was about 15 or something, and I got the bus up to like where I was getting dropped off was kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I would have got, it was whenever my mad lived like sort of outside of Glengumley for a way. So the bus dropped you off and then you had to walk for like half a mile up to the house. And I got off the bus and it drove away, and this car came past and a fucking gun was pointed out the window. Wow. And I was like, what? And I had my R-pad on me. You know that we used to carry the wee folder for your R-pad? So I like held it up like in front of me as if it was going to stop it, do you know what I mean? But I think it was a pellet gun, but it was just the thought. It was the thought of seeing it. I was like, getting the drive-by, you were like, what?
But here the folder just goes boom, reflects.
I was like, fuck, I'd scared the shit out of me.
That's mental. Back then though, it would have been a real gun. It could have been.
Back then, you said that as if
no,
I was 50.
In the early 2000s, the troubles were still going when I was alive. Like.
But I'm glad like they ended up eventually moving back down again, but I'm glad that's the only 2 times it's happened that I've survived.
The first one wasn't even the real gun.
First one, I don't know if the first one, I'm guessing it was real, but he didn't shoot it, so I don't know. Do you know what I mean? The second one was definitely a pellet gun. That was mental. But like the second one, both of them fucking scared the fuck out of me.
I know it would. Like, any black thing in someone's hand, they're like, nope. It's not a normal thing for us to see either. You know what I mean? Like, it's like even our cops like they carry a gun, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen. I don't even think I've ever heard a gunshot in this country. Nah. I'm a sheltered child, like obviously.
Here we were talking earlier on about music. Obviously, you're massive into music, like huge into music, and you've recently ventured into, maybe not even recently, it's been a while now. You've ventured into a couple of different scenes in Belfast, and even created your own kind of scene too. Tell me a bit about it. Like you were telling me a bit earlier. So like the name and whatever else. What is it? What is it called? What have you named it?
So we used to do Exile Tracks. It was called, and it was a wee bit dancier, like just on slightly harder, but kind of just touching on it. And then we stopped. It's way across the end there. Like.
Right, some of the black bits.
It's so tight. Like see, whenever I'm in bed and all, it feels like I don't have enough skin in my arm.
Yeah. See as well. See, because we put it on the band, like past the band up onto the bicep, like a wee bit.
I had actually was pulling it.
Yeah, see, especially I noticed when even that bit in there, my arm's done when I was sleeping. Yeah. See, like after like a few days, and you wake up because your arm's probably been sitting like that for ages. You open it and it's like it cracks open or something.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling because like you almost feel like a wee bit disabled or something. It's like see, whenever I get out of the shower, because I'm right-handed, I've never like I actually don't have any tattoos on that arm, so well, boy, that wee thing. But because I've never had that, like I feel like I don't have my arm, and see whenever I was sleeping or trying to go to sleep on Thursday, like I was like, because I sleep in my stomach as well. It's so bad, but like I was all like this. I was like, where do I put it? And I was like, I'll just put it on the pillow and try and keep it like this still. Yeah. But I woke up and there's blood all over the bed. Like,
oh, serious?
Yeah. But like, it's actually the same covers that just happen to be on the bed every time I get a tattoo. Yeah. So there's really a big thing from my stomach. Like it's literally stained.
Have you ever had the second skin on you?
No.
Nah?
Nah.
I actually think the day you were in it didn't have enough left to do it, but I usually do put it on for people, and it's good, say especially the first like few days where it can like go on or go all over your bed sheets and all like that. It covers it, but I think it just didn't have it. But because you've never used it too, do you know what I mean? It's just a slightly different way to heal it. Like.
It doesn't even faze me, but no, like I've seen people usually with smaller tattoos though, like I would see like a wee square of that stuff, but I've never even seen it in real life.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times with people too, where say they're in for like a 2-day project, and say I've worked up like halfway or just over halfway, see covering the bottom of the tattoo with the second skin, but leaving the stencil on the other time, like seeing they come back in the next day, like 9 times out of 10 I've been able to just like clean the skin down lightly and be able to fucking work away on it.
That's unreal to be fair.
Yeah.
That's actually
and then at the end I'll take it all off and they'll like replace it then.
But doesn't that keep it stops it from going like that wee bit dry, doesn't it?
So it like goes over the skin and stays on, and I think it almost like acts as like your outer layer of skin, and it kind of heals it from underneath. So seeing you take it off, man, it's so dry. Yeah. Really dry. Like, but once you just start to, you know, like the healing process like doesn't stop when you take it off. Like you still have to sort of clean it and cream it, but it's almost like it just speeds up the healing process a lot.
That's bad.
So it's good. We'll do it the next time you're in, because man, I always have it. I literally just I placed an order and it hasn't came yet, so I didn't have it for that day.
Sounds good. I was actually thinking, because I was looking, I was like, and get like the same sort of shape of a snake.
Class.
Yeah. So that'd be nice. It's all like, obviously they're slightly different styles, but they literally match perfectly.
Yeah, like this one's lovely too. It was owned on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, owned on all that.
Nice.
I think that took about 24 hours. I'm not joking. Like the whole arm, I think it must have been
all knocked out in one go, just 24 hours straight
I
back
think
to back.
it actually was. It must have been.
How many sessions individually was it?
It must have been 4 and then maybe a final touch one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is what it is. I think it was 4 plus he redone like the really dark black bits, but I think it was in for a different tattoo that day anyway.
Alright, just a wee touch up.
Yeah, but no, like that, it took ages, but fuck, there's so much detail in that, like it's cool.
This one's actually settling really nice. Like it's Sunday now. You were in with me on Thursday. Yeah. So it's like the 3rd day. It seems to be settling very nice.
I'm just trying to keep it creamed up. It was a wee bit crusty yesterday, but then I'll just think.
Yeah, you'll probably find it on the blacker areas to make it a wee bit crustier, but it looks to me like it's settling perfectly. Like
it's bad though, because as soon as you put the cream on, like it generally, like up here was starting to get quite like, see the way it is slightly there, like up all around there was starting to get like that, and then.
That's right, exactly where you're pointing there, right on that bend. Yeah. So it'll always like take a wee bit more effort to heal, just because it's constantly getting moved and broken, where the skin's trying to like just settle. Like down here, you're never going to bend or move it, whereas here, that's just constantly stretching in and out. So that might just be a wee bit like itchier, or sometimes you get a wee bit of pain in them, but because that's light shading, it'll be fine. If it was like pure black, then it would probably be a bit harder.
It actually hasn't been itchy at all, actually.
Has it not?
No. That's even like whenever I got my stomach done, it wasn't even, the tattoo was probably healed, but see whenever the hair started growing back in my stomach, I felt like someone was just going and poking like a wee thing into my stomach all the time. It was the weirdest sensation ever, because obviously you don't usually shave your stomach, you know? Yeah. It was weird.
Here, we should probably flip and explain why we're here on Sunday again. So on Thursday, we recorded this sort of talk podcast, whatever you want to call it, and we sat and talked here for about an hour. It was, if it wasn't an hour, it wasn't a kick of the hours off it. And then we went over and checked the camera and the fucking battery had died. So we only got like 17 minutes of it. So I'm going to just chop these 2 videos together. The second part of whatever we talked about is just lost though, because God knows what we were even talking about, but it was good.
So deep it just kept flowing and flowing, but that's why we're both wearing different clothes and we haven't just went and got changed.
I know it's true to explain that, because it's just going to like cut it apart. Or like Did anything get changed?
I was actually thinking about that on the way down. I was like, right, do we say anything or do you just play it off?
I was almost going to put the same clothes on.
I was thinking about that as well, and then I was like, oh no, I want to wear this wee t-shirt.
But sure, you live and learn. Like, I don't know why the battery died, because I'm like pretty sure it was full before we started. But sure, it is what it is. We also forgot to turn the mics on, so this part of it will probably sound clearer than
well, as long as
the first half or whatever it was.
We'll always check for this wee red light now.
Yeah, if the red light disappears, then we'll know to stop to charge it. But here, I think where we'd cut off the last time was me asking about music. So I know that recently you've sort of, and I think I actually said this almost the same way. I don't think it is recently. I think it's been on for a while, where you've kind of set up your own sort of music scene or brand. I'm not 100%. We were talking about it when I was tattooing you. So what's it called?
It's called Reckless Raves. It's probably
Reckless Raves.
A bit of both. We're playing on a scene that already exists, but we're homing in on it. So it already exists as a broader thing, but we're going just pure, harder stuff. I don't want to say hard techno. We don't want to say hard style. It's just hard.
It's just its
hard
own
music. So we're not really veering into house like anything else. Like we're just boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
So
I've seen a couple of videos on your TikTok and Instagram, and like it does look like it's like banging tunes.
It's mad. Like it is mental, but it's one of those things that the people who are into it are just so into it that like sheer amount of mayhem is what they want. It's like it's almost like the crazier the better. There was one where like it was last July, and we had like one of the big DJs, Holy Priest he's called. And it's just one of these TikTok type DJs that's blowing up with the like he wears like a, I don't even know how to, like a is it Squid Game?
Yes.
Fencing mask things.
Yeah.
He wears one of those with like an
and it
upside
has like
down,
a triangle or a square or a circle or something.
Like an upside down cross. So he's Holy Priest, and like he's just a massive name at the minute. So we had him, and it was like the biggest. Was it? I was the biggest show we'd done over there, and completely sold out. But later on in the night, there was sweat dripping off the ceiling. There's barely any AC in there, to be honest, and there's only one door, so there was literally like
just a
actual droplets coming down. It was one of those things afterwards people were commenting on it, but like there was probably a few people being like, Jesus, that was too warm, but then most of them were like, that was absolutely mental. Like there was sweat dripping on me.
It added like, something to it that you didn't even take into consideration before.
Spray a wee bit of water on the roof from now on.
Class. So what do you have lined up for 2025 then? Anything big?
We're working on a few quite big things like at the minute, but it's all just one of those things that waiting game.
Yeah.
There's a full chain of command here, so it's one of those things that one person says one thing and then the next person's like, and then you just have to wait pretty much. So we've got something big planned, and then we've also got just the Palm Houses where we do our usual events. So we've got a big one this Saturday, which is the first of the year, and we're going to do...
Is this a Belfast one?
Yeah, it's over, it's the Palm House it's called.
It's in the Palm House this Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's just, we're Dublin Road Cinema used to be there actually, and then we've got that on the 15th, so there's 13 artists on that one.
Unreal.
And then we've got another one where we're doing the whole Paddy's weekend, so we've got Derry on the Saturday, which is like an Irish debut. Well, yeah, it turns out to be an Irish debut because we're bringing them for the whole tour. Yeah. So we're bringing them to Derry first, and then we'll do Belfast on the Sunday. So that'll be the 16th of Paddy's weekend. So we've got this guy, another one of these guys that wears the mask, and he's also got this track at the minute that he's called Fees Asback, and he's got this track that everyone, when it gets to the breakdown, it has like this shouting part in it. And whenever it gets that, everyone just stops, literally stops on the spot what they're doing, arms up, and just shouts it. So we were able to get him on his Irish debut as well.
Are you excited for that one?
Oh, I'm buzzing. It's one of those tracks that whenever I'm DJing, you always end on it, and it just gets everyone going mental.
Unreal.
And like, it'll be unbelievable. So,
and can you get tickets for this, or are they sold out already?
Yeah, we just sell them all on Eventbrite.
So, on Eventbrite?
Yeah.
So you can get the Eventbrite tickets for next Saturday in the Palm House.
Yeah.
And then the Paddy's Day weekend. It's at Derry. Did you tell me before it was Derry, Belfast, and...
so the last day, so that's on the Sunday, and then the Monday is obviously Paddy's Day itself, so we're going down to Galway. There's quite a lot goes on in Belfast on Paddy's Day, so we just thought we'll go down and see what the crack is. So they have, like, it's a student type night down there where we're more just like your general going out people, like your general ravers. So like the students down there, it's obviously a completely different scene.
Yeah.
So they're all raring to go out on Paddy's Day, so it's kind of just a given that it's going to be really busy time.
Class.
Like, so
Class.
I just thought, may as well take the risk away from it and just go down
Yeah.
and have an absolute plan.
Are you going to DJ on any of them nights yourself, or are you just going to be there to help the event
What
go
one's am I
smooth?
DJing on? I think I'm DJing now on the Derry one. And we've ran events in Derry for about 2 years now, and
Yep.
the last time I ran one, it was before I even DJ'd, but it was the sweatiest spot. Like back then, it was better than the Palm House, but it kind of just went, like it didn't go downhill, but it lost its touch with people being like, oh my god, new club.
Yeah.
So then it was just like the hardcore ones that were going, but I never got to play in it. So
Right.
it was always one of those ones where I was like, I don't DJ, but I would love to play here because it was just the best atmosphere.
Yeah.
So now I get to have my wee go.
Class, unreal.
I'm DJing I'm DJing this Saturday for the next one, then that Derry one, and then I'm also down in Limerick with something that we work between Belfast, Galway / Limerick and Dublin at the minute with other brands.
Brilliant.
So it's like basically a big triangle around the country.
It's good when you have other sort of networks, especially across Ireland. Ireland is quite small, but if you're able to tap into other people's, and then they can come up and sort of use as well.
Yeah,
When
well-
everyone kind of comes together like that, it helps everything to kind of grow.
Yeah, well that's the
So-
objective, is like, no matter where you are in Ireland, like you're talking at least, well not at least, like you're talking at most 6 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
Probably a bit too far
Aye.
for a rave, but
Yeah.
the majority of people are within one radius of, you're talking probably about 400 miles. So
Yeah.
it's not as if it's really that hard
It's
to
not
get to
hang, and
Belfast.
if like we've went down to Limerick for gigs before, but it wasn't a rave to be fair, but it was still a gig, and well, we just took turns driving. Do you know what I mean? Like there was one time my mate just rented a minibus because there was like 12 of us, and
So
like
that was some
he was
crack.
like, "I'll drive down and flipping, I'll drive up." See, on the way up, he was gone with it, so somebody else had to drive. But it's always the drive home that's a nightmare. Do you know what I mean?
It's like I would always be like, yeah, I'll drive down, and
Yeah.
shit, but like no one wants to drive home, not a single person there.
I was down in Limerick. It was about this time last year for the tattoo convention down there, Ennis Tattoo Convention. And seeing the whole way down, me and my customer drove down. Well, I drove down, and we were singing, joking, having a laugh the whole way down. It felt like it was a breeze.
Yeah.
But then, like, we're tattooed flat out for like 2 days, and it was early start, late night. And then flipping, because you're bumping into people that you only really see at tattoo conventions, like everyone was having a drink and staying up late. The place we were staying in had live entertainment on, and then they kept the bar open to like 5 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to get everyone to just go back up to bed. And then it got to the Monday morning, and I got up and I was like, oh, no way, I can't drive home today. Like, there was no chance. It's too long and straight of a drive. I was like, I'll end up falling asleep or something if I have to drive up that road. So I ended up booking an extra date for me and my customer
That's
to
what
stay.
There's not
I just
a
came
chance.
home up the road on the Tuesday.
See, I'm one of those people, is like, I'm probably never over the limit, but I'm one of those people, like, I'll not drive the day after I'm on the drink anyway,
Yeah.
because, like, I think this, the excessive drinking and then the time that you stay out too, like, I always just feel a wee bit weird when I wake up, so I
Yeah.
just leave it. So, see any drives like that, I'll opt for the bus, like.
Yeah.
I
Or else,
think
sometimes what I'll do is if it is a guy and you've had a late night, I'll try and just leave it to like late as possible in the day to drive back. But I feel like if I have a drink, my body processes it out of me very quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Same
Like I've been
for me,
breathalyzed before, and it was because we were like, I don't even know how to say it, right? But something happened. We were leaving a hotel, and like it was, I think it was around my 21st birthday, so
Yeah.
we were young, and we got kicked out of the hotel. Right, and like the cops came around and sat in. There was like 3 or 4 flipping the big jeeps came around and went up into all the rooms and escorted everyone out. And I was one of the people driving, and I was like, and I had to like get off the premises, and I says, listen, I'm not getting in my car unless you breathalyze me, because if I get in my car, I'm just going to drive out there, and then you're just going to pull me in, like.
Yeah.
And they were like, right, okay, done a breathalyzer, and I came up 0.
Serious?
Aye, and
You're
I was
blocked,
like, I wouldn't say I was blocked, but I had been up like most of the night, but I probably hadn't really been drinking because obviously the bar was closed, but I probably had been drinking like within the last couple of hours, but it was blew completely 0.
That's mental, like.
I was like, yeah, it's happy days.
I've only ever been breathalyzed once in my life. Like,
Yeah.
And it obviously wasn't on the drink, it was just where we were.
Yeah.
But that's actually mental.
Strange. And there's one of my mates as well, I think he only has 1 kidney, or like, He has the other one, but it's tiny.
Yeah.
And like I think he's been flipping like over the limit by like 7 times, and it's like 10 o'clock the next night, and he might have stopped drinking at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
so his body just doesn't process it as quick.
There's a thing as well, I read about it before, and it's people who's, I think it might be their kidney as well,
Right.
somehow produces natural alcohol.
Yeah.
And it means that they have alcohol in their system. It doesn't hit their brain, but it means they have alcohol in their system to the point where if they get breathalyzed or anything, that they're over the limit.
They're over the limit.
It's mental.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading about that. It was actually someone had lost their license because of it. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you even do in that situation?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he would have, your fellow was talking about, my mate, he would have got drunk very easily as well. So like there was one time me and him actually went up to go to like a rave. It was up in Cookstown, and
In time, was it?
it wasn't. It was in Clublands. It was either Clublands or Science. We used to go up to both.
I think
And
it's
then-
one of them time now. Clubland's
Possibly,
still there, like,
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
It's still going?
It was there.
Did it change the name for a way?
Unless it's time. I don't know. But
Maybe.
I remember seeing a show. It had to be within the past 2-3 years. It was in there, like, and it was
Yeah.
one of those ones that was like, he's playing up there, like what?
Yeah.
It was a mental lineup, but I can't even remember who it was.
Clublands back in the day was unreal. It wasn't like Clublands music.
Yeah.
It was like flipping Scott Project, Lisa Lyses, John O'Callaghan, flipping, who else have I seen? Like Marco V, do you know, all the fucking ones that were unreal back in the day. So we were up there every other weekend. Like, do you know what? See the time I was talking
actually-
about, we
it
went
was
up and
Marco
stayed
V.
in that hotel and went to Sense. But it was just me and my mate went up, right? But he had been drinking the night before. And then it was a Sunday, so me and him were going up to go to the flipping, it was more of a nightclub than a raving place though,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But I think they'd done a deal where you got into the nightclub, your room, and like dinner and breakfast or something, and it was quite cheap. So we used to go up every so often, right? But he'd get up the next morning, he was supposed to be driving us up, and he was definitely over the limit. And I was like, right, sure, I'll drive your car up, right? So then he had a couple of drinks on the way up in the car, and he was just in dodo mode, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we get in, checked into the room, and we were getting showered, no, like to go out, to go down to the thing, and he went in and got showered, and he came out, but while he was in the shower, right, I fucking took all his clothes, right, and turned them inside out, right, and put them back on like the hanger and all, right, and he came out and he smelled like this big burst of like fucking spearmint or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck have you washed yourself with? And he was like, oh, he didn't even know. And I went in and looked, there was an empty bottle of like the hotel mouthwash.
How do you mix that? Like a liquid? Like, that's mental.
And then I went in to get showered and I came back out and he was sitting, so he had his jeans on back to front and he was trying to button the shirt. Do you know, like the way if you have a shirt that's inside out, the hangs are back?
To, like, try and push it in. Like
So
that.
we're in no rush. I just let him work away, right? And he eventually like got it like buttoned up the wrong way, and we dandered down and through the hotel. I know, like to go out to the nightclub bit, and then we were walking up the door, and in my head I was going, like, they're gonna see him and like not let us in.
Yeah.
We've came the whole way up here for this, so I couldn't stop laughing. He's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "Man, fucking look at yourself." He's like, "What?" I was like, "All your clothes are all back to front," and he was like, "What the fuck?" So I was like, "Right, come on, we'll go back up," and he just let him get changed. Do you know what? I should have just let him like walk in and like and seen if that had took it as a joke.
They probably would have just been like, what? Like, and then let him in, you know, like they would have been in the same boat as you, just laughing.
Just laughing at him. But I don't know. I felt like if I had just been like, sorry, not tonight, like because he did get drunk very easily, like so. It was what it was, but it was hilarious at the time.
That's
like,
mad. So like he literally a few drinks and he's prolapsed.
Just yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Mad. I think I got tipsy pretty easily, but I stayed tipsy for a while.
Yeah.
But I think I'm tipsy until I can't remember anything. That's my problem. And then it's that one last drink. Is like I'll always remember pouring it, but I'll never remember finishing it ever.
They're like you'll be fine, and then just one drink will kind of just tip it over the
I
edge.
can always kind of pinpoint what drink it was, and then I can only pinpoint it because I always remember being like, "Whoa, there's a massive amount of vodka in that."
Yeah.
And then nope, you don't remember.
I've never really been a vodka drinker. Like I don't mind it if it was in like a cocktail, but even at that, I don't really drink cocktails that much. But I don't mind the odd one. I'd usually just stick to beer, or with certain food, I would have maybe a glass of wine. But just wait, I couldn't drink red. Like red's fucking just smells and tastes like vinegar. Like
I've only ever taken one sip of it, and I was just like, no
chance.
But like, I just can't. Like vodka, although it does have like it's not the nicest taste ever, but in comparison to like whiskey, tequila, any other spirit that I can think of off the top of my head, it doesn't really have a taste at all.
Yeah,
like the other
it
ones
is. It's
are
very
just-
plain, like.
Whiskey, can't do it.
You don't like whiskey?
No,
I don't mind a wee whiskey. But I take it in like notions. Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be like every time I'm out. Sometimes I get like a wee notion, and I'll just have a couple of the odd wee whiskeys. Like,
would you have it mixed with Coke or something, or just whiskey?
I would drink it like that, but I wouldn't like drink it like that all night. Do you know? I'd maybe see if I had like 4 or 5 pints and I was somewhere, and someone was getting like a whiskey and Coke, I'd be like, get me one of them too. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind having the odd one, but it wouldn't be like something I would just have that as like, you know, the way you would buy like a case of beer or like a bottle of wine or something. I feel like whiskey's just, I prefer it on its own. I prefer it just straight on its own, but it comes in, it goes hand in hand with certain nights. So say if you're like playing poker, or you're maybe just chilling, like watching something, like I think on the Super Bowl night, we always have like, my mate actually usually has a few of his round, and like everyone brings some food, you bring whatever beers you're having, and there's always whiskey. But it's just like, see, like at the first touchdown, everyone will have a whiskey. I don't know nothing about like that American football. I'm just there for the crack. And then at the halftime show, everyone will have like a whiskey. So it's just like a wee tradition that they have always done. And it's nice for nights like that, you know, where there's just a few of you.
It's like it's an activity of drinking the whiskey. It's not just your drink. Yeah, I get you. No, I can't do it at all. Vodka is at the most, and I can drink. If it even Smirnoff, I can drink like probably pretty strong ones, like, but see the likes of Glens and all. It's like I'd be turning my nose up so easily, but sure, it's because I'm so fussy with food and everything, so it just drinks fall into that as well. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Like,
I think you said to me before, you prefer to have just more like cider. Would you prefer? You don't really sort of go for beer or just some certain spirits and cider.
Yeah, like even cider, it's like the same as beer. Is the aftertaste I don't particularly like. So like I'll drink, I don't even know if this constitutes a cider, but I would drink a few Copperberg easy. Yeah. But that's more like either just start drinking a wee 1 or 2 and then your stomach's aching, or if it's sunny outside, you can always drink a wee Copperberg and get away with it. But
what about Guinness?
No, it's
you don't like Guinness?
I've never tried it, and I know
you've
that's
never
an
tried
absolute
it.
Crime, but it's one thing that my mate Wade, Chunkers, anyone that I know, like a good few of my mates, like actually love Guinness. Yeah. If you see anyone I know that drinks it, they're like, try it, just try it, and I'm like, no. See, because
that's mental, man. I can't believe you're from Ireland and I've never tried a Guinness.
See the amount of DJs we bring over, and they're like, right, I really want to try a Guinness, and I'm like, I don't like it. Yeah. And they're like, why not?
It is quite hard to get a nice one, to be fair. Like, see if a place gets it nailed, where it's like the right temperature and it flows quite a bit. Like, there's some places where they're unreal, but there's equal the amount of places where they just don't taste good. You know, if you have one, it would put you off even wanting to have one again. But see if you do get a nice one somewhere, like it's hard to beat, to be honest.
Anywhere where I ever am, because they're getting them, like they usually are quite good. So I know that where we run the events, we'll join on it. They do a good Guinness, but to be honest, it actually does. It looks appealing. It looks more appealing than like a glass of beer, anyway. But I just can't.
We'll have to try one someday. Do you know where it does real nice pints, and it's even their beer as well? Do you know that wee camping spot?
Yeah. Man,
their pints are great, but I feel like they just have 2 pumps that are constantly flowing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? See their Harp and their Guinness. It must just be, that's just what people go there and drink.
So
do you know what I mean? Unless they're getting a spirit or something, do you know what I mean?
I mean, like it's not sitting there for
the pints up there are great. There was actually a mad wee spot up there. So I was getting out in my camper van one day, right? And drove up to the garage close to where we live, and Luke came dandering out, and I was like, fuck, well, what's a crack and all? How are you? What are you getting up to today? And he was like, we were just like, oh, a few of us are going camping. Yeah. And I was like, unreal, where are you going to? And you said that wee spot. And I was like, do you know what? That's where I'm going to go to. So I jumped in the van and flew up. Like, you were in tents, and I had the camper van, and I get up, and man, the tunes were on. The only person I knew there was you, like. Yeah. And how many people was there? Like 10 maybe?
I actually think I had my own tent, to be fair, but there was about 5-6 tents, so there must have been about 8 to 10 of us. Yeah.
So I just went up with the wee dog. Me and Layla went up, and man, what a night that was! Like, it was so random, and like,
I remember, like, I actually completely forgot about it when we were talking about it the other day. But you remember they had the lock-in and they were doing the karaoke, and then they were all up on the stage.
Everyone was up there. They were just like, "What is going on up here?" Because it's way in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle it's like beside Loch Ness almost,
It's
isn't
like-
it?
it's
and it's
something-
literally nothing around.
It's weirdly in County Tyrone, like
Is it?
it's- Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's no man's land up there. Like I don't even think I seen the cops drive in and out one day. I don't know why they were there, but I don't think
They probably got lost.
Yeah, they probably did. They probably went down and were like, right, we need to turn back here. But like, I don't think the cops even go there.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be quite honest. The police itself, but no, like down there is a spot and a half. Like
It was.
what's
I
the
haven't
man's
been
name?
up now
Paddy?
since. Oh man, it's probably about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Since I last went up, it would have been about a year and a half. But I haven't had. Last year, I didn't get the van out once, which is annoying because I love getting away in
Yeah.
it. But last year I done loads of tattoo conventions, so we were in like Dublin, Limerick, we had one in Belfast, Newcastle. I think there was another one somewhere.
Would you not have brought the van to any of them?
I did bring it to Dublin.
Yeah.
And me and my customer went down in it. Instead, it was in like the RDS stadium.
Class.
The first night we get down, and it was like the first night's kind of more like a setting up day.
Yeah.
You know, we'd done a wee bit of tattooing, but it went on later the first night. And then everyone went into like the bar that was in the RDS. So it was fine. We were able to just go over to the van at the end of the night. It was probably like one in the morning.
Yeah.
And went to bed. And then the next day, they had like a night out for everyone after in the centre of Dublin. And my customer had just been tattooed then for 2 days in a row, and he didn't want to go out. He was busted.
Yeah.
And when I finished tattooing, I had a couple of drinks, and I was kind of in the mood to get up and do something because I'd been sitting for 2 days. Do you know what I mean? Like working, and I was like, "Fuck, we'll go down. It'll be good crack." And the security fucking chased me on the way because I had to go out, and the whole place locks in, and I was like, "Fuck." And once I seen it was locked, I was like, if I go out here, I might not get back in. So I was getting a lift of some random person. I asked for a lift into the centre of Dublin, and had to flip in. When I noticed that, I was like, I'm gonna get out and just go back to the van.
Yeah.
And then the security was like, where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm going back to the van here. I think I made up a thing. I was like, I left my phone or something there.
Yeah.
And he started shouting and all, like, you're not allowed to flip and stay here and all, like, you can't. And I was like, I'm not. But my customer was in the heat
nice.
with the lights on, but I didn't want him to have to leave because it would have meant two of us would have had to like book a hotel or something. So I went to like dander down, and the fella followed me in like a wee golf buggy and drove me down to the thing. And then we get there and he was like, why are the lights on and all? And I was like, I must have just left them on. I was like, sure, I'll get in and grab my phone and turn it off or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, right, and fucking whatever. And I get in and I said to my customer, I was like, shh, don't move. And he was like, what's going on? I was like, I'm gonna have to leave. I was like, but don't be sitting up. I'm gonna turn the lights off and like lock this up. I was like, just wait for a while and then you can get up again. I was like, but just try not to get noticed, because if you do, you're going to have to go and book a hotel. And he was freaking
and he doesn't even have the keys to drive it or anything.
I was like, man, just chill out. And he was like, what's going on?
He probably thought there was some like threat.
Yeah.
Like you're smuggling someone else underneath it.
Move. Oh, it was
Like you're
funny.
about
So
to get
then,
bombed or something at the RDS.
we went out for the night, and then I ended up going and staying in like a wee hostel that one of the other lads were staying in. So it ended up being good. And then the next day we went in, we were tattooing away again.
That's mad.
I was going to drive at the Limerick last year, but then it's in like a big hotel. Do you know what I mean? I thought it would be easier just to like, instead of staying in the car park in a van, I was like, just get a hotel room.
yourself, like,
you get
going
showered and all properly. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. It's like, it sounds good in theory, but then it's one of those things. It's like you need to do X, Y, and Z when you get there. It's like, nah, I'll just stay in a nice
Just
wee
stay.
warm hotel room.
So I think I prefer using it more for like trips, because see, if you're going away tattooing, like you kind of want to have like a good, do you know what? I was going to say you need a good night's sleep. You do get a really good sleep in that van, like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like a hotel room's just different. So I mean, you can get up, you can brush your teeth. If there's a couple of you staying in the van, you aren't all on top of each other to like, do you know, like, where's this, where's that? Fucking everything's small versions of stuff. You can't really charge your phone properly unless it's like plugged into like mains electric.
Actually, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I never really thought about that side of it. Like it all has to run off the battery if you're not.
I think it's better if you're going away just for the crack, because you don't really need all that stuff. But if you're
you
going
don't
away to
need
work, it's a wee bit harder. If you can plug it in, if you could pull into like a car park or something where you can plug it into the electric, then you'd be flying, because you can get the TV and all on then, and you know, you can charge everything and flipping. It's good.
I always forget about the fact that you just have to plug them in. Like, but you can run them off. Like they have 2 batteries in them, do they?
They do, yeah. But it's just not that powerful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not powerful enough to charge your. Well, you can charge your phone. It's kind of like, you know, like the lighter thing in a car, which isn't great. Like if your battery dies and you try to charge it on that,
it takes
it's
about an
not
hour.
the same. Do you know what I mean?
Especially my phone at the minute, it's broken. It's absolute nightmare. I actually be sitting waiting for about 45 minutes for my phone to turn on at the minute.
Yeah.
He's doing this thing, comes up the Apple logo, just flashes like a big flash up the screen, goes straight back to the start again. So weird, like.
You need to get it. Oh, that's right. I think you were telling me you broke the screen on it and got it fixed.
I was on the free this morning. I was sitting saying, I was like, I'll just know, because they wouldn't do anything for me, obviously, because they were the money, like.
Yeah.
And I knew that was going to be the case anyway. It was just chance my arm. And I was like, I'll be making sure I'll not be giving you any business in the future here. I'll be telling all my friends and family not to do the same and all. Just trying to push them into a point where they would do something for me. And then I was like, I'll definitely make sure I'll be going to O2 next time. And then as soon as I said that, they were like, what we can't do is give you 50% off your device, your phone bill thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so you can get out of it. And I was like, nah, like this just isn't going to be good enough because I still owe you £700. And then she was like, well, I can make a one-time exception to waive 100%. And I was like, right, but it doesn't.
That was alright.
But it doesn't benefit me because I still have to pay the phone off.
Yeah.
So I just didn't cancel it. like I was just pushing them into the corner to try and get something off, but nah, they weren't doing it.
Sure, it is what it is. Have you any more plans to go travelling this year? Have you anything lined up, or is it more just like based on gigs and?
Well, at the minute, it's hard to. I used to love going away every month, so I think we might have actually talked about that in the first 15 minutes, didn't we? Yeah, so like, I used to like going away every month, and I tried to make that a thing, but now like life just gets in the way, so we do end up.
You have a lot going on here with what you are doing.
Like, it's like you think you don't, like because you don't have an event on for 2 weeks, you think you don't have anything to do, and it's like you take 2 days off and you're 5 days behind then. It's like it's such a knock-on effect whenever it comes to that sort of stuff, so I try and only do stuff on like short-term notice. So like pretty much like a 2-week threshold. I'll just be like, right, I want to go here. But
that's a better way to do it, because I feel like sometimes if I have something booked and it's like 6 months away, it just feels like it's a million miles away, and you're
even
like,
before that though, like I was probably only doing like a month or two beforehand because I hate waiting. It's like it is worth it obviously because you're going on holiday, but it's almost not worth the whole wait to go on holiday. It's like just go for it.
Just get it done. Once it's booked, like whenever that like excitement's still there, like the excitement of booking it, and like it's just an idea. Like if you get to do it all,
the same thing.
It's very good. Like I have nothing planned for this year either. We were going to do like a family holiday. Our family is quite big on the my side, so we usually every like 3 or 4 years we'll organise something where everyone will meet up and go to somewhere. And we were going to do it this year and go to somewhere like Medina, do you know, like in Spain, where it's handy enough to fly to, but a couple of things just have changed up and it's not happening, so it'll probably be the year after. But I feel like I'm just like same as yourself, just kind of focusing on what's going on right now, and like I'm kind of just in the middle of this. If you start breaking it up with like wee holidays and all, it's kind of almost feels like you're distracting yourself. Do you know what I mean?
One of those things as well, when you're self-employed, like you're distracting yourself from the work, but you're also distracting yourself from the holiday because you're thinking about the work.
You're thinking about
like it's like it's not days off, it's days break. Like you have to do 50% of what you were doing at home, but you still have to do it.
I've even cut down the amount of conventions I'm doing this year as well, so I'm just doing 2 this year: the big Belfast show and the one up in Newcastle again. So they're handy enough and they're fun, and it's good to get a catch up with everyone.
County Town, like.
It's brilliant. It's in the big sleeved honoured hotel.
I wouldn't suspect them to have a tattoo convention.
Last year was the first one. So it is. Last year was the first one, and this is the second one. So I think me and Owen and Jordan are going to go up. And it's kind of like almost like a wee holiday. But you are working, but it's almost like a wee holiday away, because you're going away with people that you're very friendly with, and then you're bumping into loads of people you're friendly with while you're up there. And it's only like a 40-minute drive. Do you know what I mean? Up the road. So I look forward to that. The Belfast one's unreal in the Europa. So I'm looking forward to that this year as well.
I've never been to that. I was over. Well, actually, you were there too, over at the Titanic one that time. Yeah, I think I called into that, and then no, I haven't been to one since, but I'll take a wee call up to Newcastle. That'll be a good crack.
Unreal. You should call up, even if it's just for the fun of it. Like, do you know what I mean? A couple of my customers actually called up because I had a category where you could enter, do you know, like heel to work. And there was like 2 or 3 of my customers come up, and like they just come up and had a laugh. One of them brought their kids and all up with them, and just flipping had a day out up in Newcastle. Like
comedy and all at the Titanic.
They did actually. I think it was Kieran Bartlett and William Thompson done comedy at it, didn't they?
I know, just short-term holidays is what I'm after, but we do every year for the past, we went 2 years now, and then this will be the 3rd. We've been trying to do like a wee snowboarding holiday.
Right.
So like it's
unreal.
Me and my mate Owen, and It's one of those things that when we done it the first time, I was like, right, this is our thing now. Like we'll do it every year. So I haven't booked it yet, and we're going in a month. But I think we're going to go to Bansko in Bulgaria.
That'd be nice.
Like it's meant to be actually relatively cheap, but it just looks like good crack.
Yeah, Bulgaria is cheap enough. I was there. That was a good load of years ago when I but we went to Sunny Beach. So it was a good wee spot.
Don't know if I handle that well, but
no, I don't think it would be something I would go to now. But
Ibiza is probably the height of it for me, and even Ibiza for me is like.
I've never went to Ibiza.
It's good crack. Like to be honest, I was one of those people, and so many people could quote me on this. I'll never go to Ibiza. Oh, it's not my thing. And then I just went, just booked it. I just took away notion. Was just like, fuck it, we'll go for it. And I booked it. 2 weeks later, we went.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like that time was the maddest thing, and I said like I'll probably not be back this year at least. Like, and then 2 months later we were back again. But then when we went back again, like we were DJing in Eden and stuff, which used to be Space. So like it was one of those things. Like my mum had been there. Yeah, and it's like we were DJing in there, and it was like
that's
one of those like full circle things. And to be honest with you, it was like I think I was probably about 2-3 months into the DJing as well. So it was like
that's a big thing. Yeah,
it was such class.
I definitely would like to go to Ibiza at some point. I just haven't got around to it. I think the first time I was going to book it, I was waiting on 2 people getting back to me. So there was like 6 of us going to go. 4 were definitely going. The other 2 were kind of going to let me know later that day if they were definitely going, and I was sitting ready to book it for everyone, and just out of curiosity I checked the cost of a flight to Australia and seen one pop up with Malaysia Airways. Remember Malaysia Airways lost a flight? Yeah. So the price of their flights must have dipped away down, so I got a flight for like, it was like 300 quid. I think it was like 320 quid, and I just went, fuck it, just click book, and I messaged everyone. I was like, lads, someone else is going to have to take over, so I've just booked
one way or return?
That was just one way.
One way. Is that what you went over in?
Yeah.
And you just seen that, and that was
it. I had no intentions. I didn't even have a visa. I didn't have anything. So
you didn't even be like, right, I'm going to Australia here in 6 months?
No. No, well I did. I booked it for like a few months later, but it was just in that moment, I was like, hadn't really thought about it at all. I was just, curiosity just like brought me to see how much a flight would be, and then just booked it, and then waited for like a few weeks, and then I applied for my visa once I saved up a bit of money again, and then just had a wee bit of time then just to save up spending money.
That's mad. Well, Australia would probably be better than Ibiza. Well, depends what you're after, like I suppose.
Yeah.
But no, like to be honest, it depends what way you do it. There's the side of it that's those big clubs that you're paying 30 quid for a bottle of water in. Yeah. And then there's also like just wee bars on the strip, and like there is like the likes of Eden. Obviously everywhere's going to be expensive, but it's supply and demand. Like that's just how it goes. Like it's
absolutely
not, like if you're going to go, you can't complain about the price. So it's just one of them things. Like you choose what you're going to do.
You just budget for it. Like if that's where you're going, just make sure you understand that that's what it is.
The second time we went, first time I just stayed in like a wee crusty, like I wouldn't even call it a hotel, like a apartment, like serviced apartments type thing. Yeah. And then the second time, because there was so many of us going, I think in total with like our group and then all the girls, there must have been like 12, 13 people there. So like a load of us just walked in. I think it ended up being like $2.5 grand for 4 days, mind you. But we just walked in for this big villa. And like, see, after doing it that way, like I'll never be staying in a hotel or ever again. Like, see, just being able to have that freedom of just like sitting at your own pool, and like you obviously get into some states over there, so you don't have anyone around you but your own mates. Like, it was unbelievable. But like one of the nights, it literally just dawned on me there. We had these big speakers, like obviously, and one of the nights we were sitting, like, and for some reason the sitting area was like at the front of the house rather than at the back. Well, it was at the side, but it was at like the front side. So we were sitting there, and next thing the cops rock up, and like they're all asking, like, and I'm obviously steaming, and they were asking.
You just had that one drink too much.
Yeah,
I can remember pouring it.
Over there, it wasn't even that. It was this strawberry and lime vodka stuff.
Right.
I think it might just be Rushkoff. Like,
right.
Like but it was flavoured.
Like a flavoured vodka?
It was unbelievable. It was only 8%, but it was the nicest drink I've ever drank. So I was just drinking that straight over there. It was so nice. Actually, that's just made me think about it as well. But then he rocked up, and obviously everything's in my name because I do most of the bookings. Yeah. So rocks up, like, right, like, barely spoken English, like, who owns this, like, who's renting this, and I was like, me, and he's like, right, passport now. I was like, no chance, like, cause I was so steaming, I was like, not a chance of you getting my passport, because I know what they're like.
They take it on you?
Yeah, and then they make you pay for it, so I was like, not a chance. So then I was cracking up, and then obviously someone had to come over and say, right, chill out. I don't think he actually ended up asking, like, taking my passport in the end, but it was one of those ones where, like, we were all probably in a big enough state that it could have went south so easily, you know, but it was a good thing the cop was on his own. I don't think he was really that bothered, but he was just following up on the complaints. Yeah. And then I was just causing it happen.
That's funny, once you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, thank God. Thank God that happened. And you're in your own crusty apartment. I didn't have it fucking tucked up in a wee cell somewhere because you were slamming. They don't take no shit over there. Like,
they don't. And to be fair, why would you? Like, that's what I think. Like, especially, like,
I think they can be a wee bit heavy-handed though. I've seen a couple of times, I think it was in Magaluf years ago, and I've seen a couple of things and you're just like, whoa, that's bad. Like,
whenever I was in Budapest, although I love it as a country, but it's the only place that I've ever felt a tiny bit, like, seriously on edge.
Right.
In the clubs and stuff, the bouncers, like, I seen, it was, I can't even remember what it was called, big, massive super club, had a few different rooms, were kind of all different genres type thing, but the main room was huge, and they were throwing people out left, right and centre, but like, you couldn't actually decipher why, but there was one of them that pushed them, like, they're big, massive, like, big Slavic boys, like you wouldn't even go anywhere near them, like, scary, like, and they grabbed him, like, by the scruff basically, but one of them went like that, and he, like, ended up falling, but then on his way down, your man was like, what are you, like, as if it was his fault for falling, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, grabbed him like that, and went bang, straight into the back of the head. Like, that can kill you instantly, like, so like, they're dirty over there like that, and then I met a guy, bear in mind, this guy, like, he was training to be a doctor, I think, like, he did never drink, like, he didn't smoke, didn't do anything, like, just very straight edge guy, very genuine guy. Me and him just walking down the street, he was he was Spanish, obviously I'm from here, so like, just a random mix of people, and the cops are walking down the other side of the street, and we were sitting, like, conversation between the both of us, like, not doing anything whatsoever, and they just, like, I seen them in the corner of my eye just starting to cross the road, and I was like, are they coming towards us? And then the next thing, stand right in front of us, and it's like, anything on you, like, straight away, just basically implying that you have, like, stuff on you, and then they're like, no, and I was like, mate, honestly, search the bag, and he's like, passports, so, like, the fact that, like, I now don't carry a passport when I go out because it's stupid, like, because there's,
especially if you're away somewhere too, or if you are somewhere, like, if you lose it, you're not stranded, but you have to go through a whole process to try and go to the embassy, get a temporary passport, and it just, like, I feel like if that happened, it would kind of just put a dampener on your holiday.
100%, like, and then you probably end up having to stay for an extra 2 days now, like one of those ones. But no, like, I purely don't do it. Obviously you don't want to lose it, but I don't do it because, like, the amount of, like, weird stories I've heard about cops and stuff, like, in different countries, and just, like, they'll take your passport off you and then be like, right, €200 on the spot, and they'll not give it back. It's like, there is obviously a lot of corruption in different countries, like, so it's one of those things, it's like, it just can't be too powerful, like, it's random, but nah.
Are you going to go to any festivals this year?
To be honest, I need to. Like, that's one thing that we slack on, is like we're running events here, but to be honest, we'll go to the different events here in Belfast, like, the odd time, and then I've been over to Glasgow. I've been to the likes of Italy and stuff before for festivals in Manchester, but I haven't been to anything in about 3 years, so I actually made a promise to myself this year. I
get something booked.
I want to, so.
There was one back in the day we used to go to, I think I went to the last 3 of them, was Oxygen down in Dublin. I heard it's not a dance like festival, but it does have a dance, it did have like a dance room, do you know what I mean, for all DJs. I think Deadmau5 was like the head of the dance bit out of the thing, but man, that weekend was unreal. Unreal. Now when you're coming back, you feel like fucking you've been hit by a bus. Do you know what I mean? It's just 3 or 4 days of flipping chaos, and you smell and flipping. I mean, it always rained when we were there too. I think the last one we went to, like the last day, it was sunny, but most of the time it was like you were just fucking camped out in a swamp, like.
I take it that Oxygen doesn't happen anymore, does it?
Nah, they stopped it, which I'm raging, because it was a brilliant weekend. Like, it stopped. I think the last one was like 2008 or something, maybe 2011. I can't remember, but I was like maybe 18 or 19 whenever the last one
So
happened.
there's that, what do they call it now? Longitude is down there.
Right.
It's in Marley Park, I think.
Right.
Where was Oxygen?
It was in Punchestown Racecourse.
Or someone else outside, I think, now run events in there, so they.
Yeah.
But like Longitude would be a wee bit more like Oxygen, like they've got a lot of live music, and then
Yeah.
they've got obviously the DJs and stuff on as well.
Yeah.
They're the rappers and all on that as well.
I would love to go to an art festival myself, man. There was a wee smaller one that happened about, man, maybe like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Up in like Hillsborough, and it was called the Sunflower Festival.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, it was tiny, right?
Aye, so it was meant to, like it was never meant to stop. It was something a few years, I can't remember what it was, but
There was definitely something happened. I don't know if it was like funding or
Yeah, I think
there
it was something to do
I think
with
there was
funding.
something to do with funding that
or
stopped
no,
it.
I think it was to do with the land and maybe the land price. Don't quote me on that, but I think
Yeah.
it was something to do with that. But I've heard
It was a
mad
brilliant
stories
weekend.
about that.
It was a brilliant
Yeah.
weekend. I ended up going to it on like just by myself because the two mates had unfortunately lost someone in their family.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go, and then I was sitting on like the night that it started, and I was like on the phone to my mate who lived in Edinburgh at the time, and he was like, "Are you not going to the festival?" And I was like, "Nah, sure." Blah blah blah. What happened? And I was like, "Do you know what? Actually, hold on, I'll ring you back." I went on and ordered a taxi, but it was like 12 at night, and I ordered a taxi up to it. I just went up by myself.
Serious?
Aye, and I ended up bumping into people I knew up there. You know, like just once that I didn't even know they were going, but I ended up bumping into them.
Yeah.
But I was so glad I went. I had such a weekend. It was
See,
real.
I've heard about it, and it's like it's a wee bit more intimate than your usual festival. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to go to something like that. To be fair, there's that If You Know festival. Have you heard of that? I think
I have heard of it, but I don't know. Is it in England? Is it?
no, it's here as well.
It's here?
I think they've
Oh,
kind
here.
of adapted
I
the
actually
same
think I
thing.
might know the girl that runs that one.
Yeah.
If it's the same one I'm thinking about, is it only just happened? It's like
think-
last year was the first one.
Or was it the year before? They done one the year before, and it was more like a private type of like invite only, or maybe a couple of years ago, and it was like kind of like an invite only type thing. But then last year they opened it up to the
Yeah.
public, and they had all like their thing is like big production stuff. So like that is literally like their business. So then they put a lot of stuff into the visual side of things. So
Right.
they have like a
Maybe
big
it's not the same one I'm thinking of.
It could be.
And
To be
it
fair,
could be. I'll check. I'll
It's
check
more
on my
along
phone
the
after.
lines of like that type of Sunflower Fest with like, it's got like that bit more of like a slight hippie vibe to it. You know?
Maybe it is.
it
Maybe
probably
it
is,
is.
like-
Yeah, I think
like,
it is.
I've heard
But
from
it looked
that
unreal,
stories.
and I never knew about that until it. Like, I'd heard about it like months before it.
Yeah.
And then I just never seen any like advertising for ages until it was like happening, and I was like, "Fuck!" I already had other plans that
I
weekend.
think
I'll
that's
try and go this year if it's on again. Like,
I actually would mind even up to that.
have you
myself.
seen the Lost Village?
I have seen it
Man,
actually.
I would love to go to that. That looks.
That's in England though, is it?
Yeah, it's in England. It looks unbelievable. They put you can tell they put a lot of time into it. It's in like a forest, and like they have loads
Oh
of
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're on about now.
It looks unreal,
Yeah.
man. Someone I know went there too, and they said it was like unbelievable.
See, there's a lot of ones like, obviously like, well, there would be the likes of DJs we listen to on within those lineups.
Yes.
But like, the problem, well, not the problem, but like the thing is like I think the harder stuff doesn't really translate that well, and sometimes in those type of environments. So like it would probably be quite good in a forest, but sometimes I think you stick a DJ that's 20 meters away from the crowd up on a big massive stage with a big screen and lights behind them. Like I think that takes away from
Yeah.
what it's actually meant to feel like. Like
Yeah.
it's meant to be
Kind of like
amazing.
a boiler room at AVA,
Yeah.
like where it's kind of in the middle, and like
Yeah.
everyone you can literally flip and you can lean over and touch them if you
like,
if you
I
want
feel
to. You're
like
that
it's
close.
always- it's meant to be a wee bit more, well, in my own opinion, I prefer the more intimate spaces. Not
Yeah.
saying that you have to go into a club and do small shows, I'm saying just set it up a wee bit nicer, you know,
Yeah.
like make people feel like they're involved is my thing. Like I
Yeah.
love, like we're running the nights and like obviously there is like a hierarchy, but we have like I think 120 PRs that like I would call them the Reckless family. It's like I want
Unreal.
them to feel like they are as involved, not obviously as involved with the operations, but I want them to feel like they're involved with the brand
With the-
as much
yeah.
as we are, because like at the end
You're
of the day,
thinking about them in the planning, and it's kind of
yeah.
that's
And
good.
like I like giving them like mad enough actually, it's something I keep forgetting is out of those 120 people, there's probably about 30, 40 of them, maybe not as many as that, but you're talking probably about 30 of them that are all like this now.
Yeah.
Like, and they have actually formed an actual group they all go out together. They go over to the likes of like Newcastle, like all different countries together,
Brilliant.
just to go to these raves because they're so into it. And not one of them knew each other before we started the night.
That's class,
Like
man.
some of them
Unreal.
had like loose links to each other.
Yeah.
Or, like they maybe like went to schools with them or something.
Yeah.
But like to the best of my knowledge, most of them are all from different parts of the country,
Class.
and they've all just came together. And
That's it. Keep at it, man. You'll probably find over the next, like, is with each year that passes, it'll just be a snowball effect. That thing will just grow and grow and grow. And like you were telling me some things that were going on like behind the scenes at the minute, and it sounds so exciting. So I look forward to hear maybe some of
Exciting
that
and
getting
special.
announced. Do you know what I mean? Because if it does come through, that'd be big for Belfast. Like,
I know.
do you know what I
like,
mean?
the
And for
things that
yous,
we're planning.
obviously. So
the things
fingers
we're planning
crossed
is-
that
it's
the
gonna be
stars
amazing.
align for it.
Hopefully.
Here, do you want to let us know your Instagram and TikTok pages for either yourself or at Reckless Records?
Well,
as
like the Reckless one is just reckless.raves.
or Reckless Raves, sorry, I said Reckless.
Reckless.raves on Instagram. The TikTok is Reckless Raves Belfast because another funny story is I think I explained about the fact that we blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
That account actually ended up getting hacked by, I'm
no way.
assuming it was a bot, but what they were doing was putting a live stream up of just this girl. I think they were advertising some form of OnlyFans type scenario.
Yeah.
But it was just her on a loop for like, it was never off.
Yeah.
And we tried to get in this account, could never, like TikTok of no
So that
support.
their page just
So
disappeared?
The initial account that we blew up that got the 70,000 views and all, we actually lost 2 months later and had to build it back up from the start. So we're actually nearly back up with 4,000 followers now on TikTok.
That's
but
good.
that was that's where we blew up in the first place. But the fact we were able to bring it over to Instagram anyway and keep it going without having those followers is obviously great. But yeah, we got hacked. So it's Reckless Raves Belfast on TikTok, and then my own personal Instagram is Looky C, but Looky with rise and then C with a C instead.
Yep, sure, we'll share it in the description of the video too, so people can go on and follow. And if they're into that, like even for next Saturday, there's a big event in Belfast, and they get tickets on Eventbrite. And for the Paddy's Day weekend, you can get tickets for them as well. And it's Belfast, Derry, and Galway.
Yeah, all our tickets are on Eventbrite, and then obviously we're doing these collaborations. They use different people in Galway and stuff, but everything can be found on our Instagram.
Unreal. And don't forget to check out my Instagram page. It's just RanOG or RanOG.tattoo, and then the shop page is Hellfire Tattoo Club Belfast. I'm currently taking bookings for March, so there's a few days left of March. So send me a wee message and I'll get you sorted if you need a consultation or if you just want to send me your idea and I'll make something for you to suit. I think we were saying that we were maybe going to go and get a Bops. Have you had it before?
I had the goose ones there the other week. Unbelievable.
You were just telling me they were nice. That's what I'm going to order today.
Actually, they might have been the nicest chicken, like, I'm bearing in mind I'm a chicken goujons connoisseur now. I think they might have been maybe the nicest goujons I've ever had in this country. Like,
I think the guy that owns that, his brother owns Frankie's Lasagna, and it's in the John Hewitt. So I'm busting to try it. I haven't tried it, but I'm very friendly with him, Big D. They used to have the Katsu place in Trade Market.
Yes, I know that.
So we'll try Bob's today, and I think maybe someday next week I'll have to go around and try the lasagna place.
I will try Bob's today, but
unreal.
No, I'm gonna go for the burger today.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
I really enjoyed that, mate. I enjoyed the tattoo. I'm going to maybe get a couple of more photos or videos of it now that it's just a couple of days settled.
Yeah.
Class, man. Cheers.
Just for the coffee.
I get it in there.
Remember the dots in the name.